My name is Maya, and I'm a psychologist. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about how we feel in different spaces. Which spaces do we identify with more, which less? Where we feel safer, where we feel less safe? In my opinion, the design of space holds significant sociological and psychological implications. First, let's look into the concepts of space identity and place attachment. Take a moment to reflect on the space where you currently reside. Have you lived there your entire life, or did you recently move? How long ago did you settle there? Is it more than a year? Do you feel a sense of identification with your current place of residence? What about your neighborhood or village? What factors do you believe influence in these sentiments? Several factors play a role, some of which are subjective, while others can be empirically measured and proven. During my studies in psychology, I had the privilege of participating in an exchange program in Lisbon, where I briefly collaborated with Professor José Manuel Palma Oliveira. These days, he mostly focuses on environmental solutions and environmental science. In my opinion, he's an exceptional lecturer who left a lasting impression on me, and that is likely why I mentioned him here. One of the areas he researched was place identity, a concept that was fairly new to me at the time, but gradually became more prominent in my everyday life. So, what exactly does place identity entail? The concept was introduced by Prashansky and is defined as a substructure of self-identity of the person consisting of broadly conceived cognition about the physical world in which the individual lives. This focus highlights two important aspects. First, the development of self-identity is not solely influenced by individual, interpersonal, and social processes, but also extends to the physical environment, making place a fundamental component of personal identity. Second, place identity evolves to some extent throughout our lives due to changes in the physical and social environment. Place identity is closely associated with the concept of place attachment, which represents the emotional bond people form with specific areas where they feel comfortable, safe, and prefer to remain. However, it's worth noting that the connection between these two concepts can be somewhat unclear, with some people equating or perceiving one as part of the other. For the purpose of this discussion, I will consider them as two distinct concepts that often overlap. Studies indicate that when we relocate to a new place, we are more likely to develop an attachment to it before establishing a sense of place identity. The length of our stay significantly influences both factors. Additionally, certain characteristics of places and spaces can have a profound impact. Factors such as area size, organizational structure, and architectural consistency can act as facilitator of an individual's identification with a space and contribute to an external perception of that space, fostering a strong identity. Consider this example. In which neighborhood would you feel more comfortable and quickly develop a sense of belonging? A neighborhood dominated by concrete buildings, or one with a park and surrounding trees? Moreover, do you perceive any added value in having benches in front of a building? Is the way these benches are placed important to you, such as in a row, semicircle, or circle? Similarly, what are your thoughts on the buildings themselves? Do you believe modern or traditional architectural styles are associated with a stronger sense of belonging? Clearly, architecture and organization of space play vital roles. Architectural design shapes the physical spaces where people gather and interact. Public space centers, when designed with human-scale considerations, comfort, and opportunities for social interaction, can foster a sense of community and place attachment. Furthermore, an architectural approach that prioritizes walkability, accessibility, and connectivity can encourage social cohesion and a feeling of belonging. Architecture often reflects the historical and cultural context of the place. Traditional or historical architectural styles can evoke a sense of heritage and continuity, establishing a connection between present-day residents and the past. Buildings and structures that embody cultural values and tradition of a community contribute to a unique sense of place identity. Simultaneously, place identity is closely associated with the positive perception of a place by its inhabitants. The more residents identify with a place, the more likely they are to view it as a less polluted or as a better place to live, among other aspects. I find this topic important within the context of spatial justice because whenever we discuss changing a place, it is crucial to consider the people who call it home, including young individuals. Do they identify with their local environment? Are they attached to it? If so, why? If not, why? Additionally, how do individuals from immigrant backgrounds feel in such an environment? Whenever we wish to intervene in neighborhoods, our initial focus should be the residents themselves. As I mentioned earlier, the place can be a significant part of their identity. I invite you to think of a recently built neighborhood, one filled with new buildings. How was it constructed? Did the developers take into account the needs of the future residents, or did they prioritize constructing cost-effective towers that occupy minimal space, possibly accompanied by a shopping center? I genuinely hope that my concerns are unfounded. In summary, let's explore some potential solutions to enhance place identity. 1. Celebrate local culture and heritage through organized events and initiatives. 2. Foster community engagement and involve residents in decision-making processes related to the development and management of their place. 3. Enhance public spaces to facilitate social interaction. Develop parks, plazas, and community centers that encourage residents to come together and engage with one another. 4. Support local businesses and entrepreneurs to strengthen the local economy and community bonds. 5. Prioritize safety, cleanliness, and overall quality of life within the place. 6. Encourage active citizenship and volunteering. Engage residents in activities that contribute to the betterment of the place, such as community cleanups, neighborhood watch programs, or environmental conservation initiatives. This involvement fosters a sense of belonging and empowerment. And 7. Develop a distinct place identity through effective communication and branding. Utilize local symbols, stories, and narratives that resonate with the residents and create a positive perception of the place. By implementing these strategies, we can cultivate a stronger sense of attachment, pride, and belonging among residents, ultimately enhancing place identity. The other topic I would like to address today, partly connected with place identity, is the feeling of safety in space. So let's talk about the concept of safety and security, which can be divided into 2 dimensions. One dimension is objective and relates to actual risk, while the other is subjective and directly concerns our emotions and feelings. In this video, I will focus more on the subjective dimension. Of course, people are different from one another, and we all have a subjective sense of safety and danger. However, some parallels can be drawn with the majority population. For instance, consider dangerous situations in films. Many of them take place in empty, dark streets, don't they? Even when we find ourselves in such streets in real life, we quickly become haunted by thoughts of possible dangers. Well, at least that's the case for me. Now, the question is, how can we design public spaces to make them safer? Windows are one example. Streets with more windows give a greater sense of control over what is happening. And this is reducing the potential crime. Alongside windows, clear sightlines and open spaces allow for greater visual and natural surveillance. Space must be designed in a way that makes it difficult for criminal activities to occur unnoticed. Lighting is also crucial in this regard. We need to ensure that streets, public spaces, and buildings are well lit, especially in areas prone to criminal activity. Adequate lighting improves visibility, reduces hiding places, and increases the sense of security for pedestrians and residents. Cities should be designed to be walkable and encourage active transportation. Well-connected street networks, clear marked sidewalks, and pedestrian-friendly infrastructure make it easier and safer for people to get around on foot. This increases pedestrian presence, which can deter criminal activity. Another important approach is to design spaces that attract different activities, resulting in more action and more people. This approach makes the space objectively safer in terms of risk and also makes most people subjectively feel safer. One example of good practice comes from Slovenia, which we also presented in the Spatial Justice Project. Prostorož, a non-profit urban studio working in the public interest in the fields of space and culture, follows a working principle of first investigating the current situation and then intervening. They use a participatory spatial planning method and collaborate with local community and creators. Their work is characterized by communication, ideas, and collaboration. They are aware that local people are most affected by the space, so they strive to involve them in the interventions. Their project, called Tivoli Underpass, is particularly impressive. The underpass was in poor condition despite its good design and basic maintenance. The cracked pavements, rickety railings, and daily vandalism made you feel unsafe passing through it, whether during the day or at night. The main objective was to transform the underpass from a mere connection between 2 points into an urban space that could be a park, a street, a promenade, a playground, or an event space. The renovation upgraded the space and reduced the potential for vandalism through features like concrete wall protection and improved lighting. The round voids in the walls were surrounded by walnut wood, providing people with a place to stop, rest, read a book, or socialize. The underpass is now better maintained and the walk to the city park has become more pleasant and safer. Subjectively, I can say that my perception of this space has changed. I also noticed that people now spend more time there, not just seeking shelter from the rain. The underpass connects the city center with a beautiful park, and on a nice sunny days, it is truly enjoyable to walk through. In short, public spaces need to be attractive and accommodate various activities. We must always consider the end users, their wants, needs, and how the space design can satisfy the specific target population. This approach will also reduce the likelihood of negative events, such as vandalism and various forms of violence. Prostorož has implemented several other spatial changes resulting from their participatory approach, which are described on the Spatial Justice website. Lastly, I would like to highlight another factor that increases safety in cities and neighborhoods: a higher sense of ownership and community engagement. We need to involve the community in the design and maintenance of public spaces, encouraging residents to take ownership of their neighborhoods through activities like community gardens, neighborhood watches, and public art projects. Engaged communities tend to have lower crime rates due to increased social cohesion and a collective sense of responsibility. This brings us back to the sense of belonging, place attachment, and place identity. All of these factors are interconnected, and they all revolve around people, or more accurately, the community. In short, to summarize and conclude, the design of space holds immense significance. It bears the utmost importance for both its inhabitants and those who merely pass by. Space is never meant to exist in isolation. Hence, when undertaking spatial interventions, it is important to consider that the users of the space and the desired outcomes we aim to achieve, and as well what we intend to avoid. The next time you stroll through your neighborhood, take a moment to ponder upon this notion. You will likely observe numerous elements that align with the thoughtful design of streets and buildings. Additionally, Pay attention to any aspects that may be lacking and do not hesitate to actively address these social issues as well.